Hello ladies and gentlemen and movie lovers of all kind, and welcome back to the channel. As always, I am your host, Brett Murphy, and for today's video it is going to be another ranking. And I'm going to be ranking all 8 Conjuring Universe movies. So the Conjuring Universe is a series of horror movies all set within the same continuity, following many of the same characters all set within the same timeline. And this shared universe started way back in 2013 with the very first Conjuring movie, with its most recent entry being The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. It's been about 3 or so years since I last updated this universe's ranking, so I figured with the third Conjuring movie finally dropping, now felt like an appropriate time to update it. And a quick little side note before we get into the ranking itself, I just wanted to let you know that I have an entire playlist dedicated to all of my rankings. So be sure to check that out and I guarantee you'll find something you like. And now, with all that being said, let's hop right into things. Number 8. Annabelle. I mean, what can I really say about this movie? It's unoriginal, completely uninspired. All this movie really ever does is just slowly zoom in on the Annabelle doll's face anytime something moves within the room and expects that to be scary. And out of this movie's entire hour and 40-minute runtime, only one scare actually lands. The rest you can see coming from a mile away. It's got cringy dialogue, wooden acting, and a paper-thin plot. It is easily the worst of the bunch. I mean, this movie is completely garbage in my eyes. Number 7. The Curse of Laylaorna. Talk about a wasted opportunity. This film's demon stems from an old Latin American folktale, and they used basically none of that to their advantage. There actually is a separate version of this movie that released roughly around the same time that was actually in Spanish, and is said to be vastly superior, although I personally have yet to see it. Although I don't despise this movie as much as I do Annabelle, the scares are still severely lacking, because there really is no tension building whatsoever. It's just a jump scare fest and they are so easy to spot. Although I do really like Laylaorna as our main villain. I like the design they went for with her with this movie, and I like all of the lore that comes with her. And I also felt that this film had 2 really strong leads in Linda Cardellini and Raymond Cruz. The rest, however, is completely forgettable. Number 6. The Nun. The Nun and The Curse of Laylaorna are practically interchangeable in my eyes for the exact same reasons. They both have memorable villains, a great lead actress, a solid supporting actor, and the rest is shit. Really, the only reason that The Nun gets a slight edge is because I like the setting way more. Rather than a 1973 suburban home, we get a giant haunted abbey in Romania set in 1952. Not to mention, I found a lot of the cinematography was a lot sharper in this movie. Although the character of Frenchie does try his absolute best to bring this movie down. Number 5. Annabelle Comes Home. I actually don't dislike this movie as much as everyone else seems to. Although it does lose many points for its basic jump scares and lackluster storytelling, I actually really like all of the main characters. Sure, they make a ton of stupid decisions, but they feel like real teenagers, and they do their job well. The movie also gets many points back in my eyes for its creativity, by introducing us to a slew of new and unique monsters. I saw that someone said this somewhere, and I can't really remember where I saw it, but it really does perfectly sum up this movie. It's basically Night at the Haunted Museum. And when you think of it that way, it's actually kind of awesome. Number 4. The Conjuring: The Devil Made Me Do It. Seriously, why did they stick with this subtitle? The Conjuring 3 would have done just fine. Nevertheless, this movie was somehow both a bit of a hit and a miss. There's actually a lot to love here in terms of storytelling, because this to me is likely the most interesting story in the Conjuring universe yet. And it's both very well told and well paced, as the story is based on the only case in the American court system's history where the defense decided to plead not guilty by the basis of demonic possession. And although we only get like 1 or 2 scenes in the courtroom, I think them deciding to go with this premise overall was genius. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, as expected, are by far the best aspects of this movie. And I really liked how the plot was different from the haunted house aspect that we got in the first 2. But it forgot one key ingredient that makes the first 2 Conjuring movies so special. It completely forgot how to be scary. With James Wan no longer in the director's chair, gone is the stellar tension building. Gone are the truly twisted and creepy moments that make you shiver. Because this movie is not scary at all. Nor does it boast any memorable villains, which is something I really enjoyed about basically all of the other Conjuring movies. Again, what really saves it though is its story and its acting. Number 3. The Conjuring 2. This sequel very much so replicates much of what made its predecessor so iconic and effective. Magnificent tension building, a creepy atmosphere, memorable scares, and a wonderful chemistry between its two leads. Although I do take issue with its pacing, certain storytelling elements, and aspects of its villains. I find that pacing is excellent for the first half of the movie, maybe even a little more. But as the story progresses, I feel it drones on a bit too long for its own good. And a lot of that stems from the storytelling. It feels far more far-fetched and dramatized, as in it very much so has that Hollywood feel to it, which really sucked me out of certain moments. And a lot of that can stem from its villains. While there is no doubt that these are likely some of the most memorable villains of the entire universe, they feel far too whimsical to me, as in they feel like they belong more so in the Insidious movies than they do in the Conjuring movies. They don't feel like demons that would inhabit the real world. And if they are, well, I don't want to find out for myself. But regardless, I feel they very much so do have that whimsical touch to them, and feel more so like something that Tim Burton or Guillermo del Toro would bring to life. Number 2. Annabelle Creation. In my eyes, this sequel has come the closest to replicating the genuinely terrifying scares, nearly unmatched atmosphere, and truly spine-chilling intensity that the first Conjuring produced. It showcases some fantastic pacing, downright disturbing imagery that will make your blood curdle, well-timed scares, a great cast of characters that really do sell you on the terror, and a clever ending that brilliantly ties itself back into its much lesser predecessor. Number 1. The Conjuring. The first of this shared universe is still by far its best. The first Conjuring immediately upon its release was an instant classic. The one that started this whole universe and took audiences by storm. A truly terrifying experience that felt all too real. A horror movie and a haunted house movie no less, that was genuinely scary, with each and every scene sending chills up and down your spine. The tension and suspense start slow, but gradually builds over time, leading to one hell of a shocking and horrific finale. It's well written, brilliantly acted, especially of course from Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga with their electric chemistry. It's creepy, eerie, disturbing, and at times even difficult to watch. They really did such a good job at making this feel like a true story coming to life on the big screen. It is a dark, gritty, and very much so not for the faint of heart tale. And it is truly one of my all-time favorite horror movies. So that is all for today's video, folks. Be sure to let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my ranking. And be sure to let me know what you'd like to see me rank next. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to see more content, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing that little bell icon. That way you can be notified about all of my latest uploads. And as always, stay safe, thank you so much for watching, and that's a wrap. Hey you, yeah you, if you made it this far, just know I appreciate you, and while you're here, consider hitting that subscribe button.